right, y'all. Welcome back and happy Sunday. Today we're going to be breaking down Tennessee's pass defense versus Kentucky. Everybody's mad at our defense. I'm mad at our defense too. We're not playing well, but I just want to focus on the passing plays because most people are probably going to be thinking about our pass defense, not so much our run defense. There's definitely some issues there as well, but I'm not sure that I'll be able to get to my grades today. I'm going to try to, but I wanted to put this video out first so that once the grades do come out, people will understand some of why graded things the way that I did grade them. But with the all 22 copies that we're about to be looking at, it's a lot better than the TV copy where you really can't see much of anything. You can see everything. So I'm going to do my best just to go through this as quickly as possible. And hopefully y'all will get something out of this video. If you do get something out of it, please do make sure to like and subscribe, and also maybe share it with some other people as well, especially Tennessee fans. That will be huge for this channel. But we're going to be starting off on the scoreboard copy for every play. This is the down and distance. This is the time that's left in the quarter. This is where the football's at. And obviously, this is where the score is. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get it cracking. So on the first play, it's an empty set, which means that they're going 5 wide, no running backs in the backfield. And Tennessee pre-snap, okay, looks like maybe we're showing man coverage. All right, so I want to break down as much of it as I possibly can, but do it quickly. So this is going to be a wide receiver quick screen. This is actually cover 3. So cornerback's playing deep third there, safety deep third here, deep third there. So they're throwing it to the guy. Not really that Colton Hood's guarding because he's really playing an area and not a man. So he has to give the ground. But what he does a really good job of is coming up and setting a good, strong edge. We talked about it last night. He's got a tight end blocking him, does a really good job from that standpoint. Now, Jeremiah T-Lander here, he's going to flow over. Everyone else on the defense flows over. If the cornerback sets a good edge and forces that wide receiver or ball catcher back to the inside, then we can make stops, and that's exactly what happens here. So we're moving around. We're talking. We're running a stunt. That's quick, right? Like this is instant. This is like a now play. You catch it, throw it. You're not going to be able to get pressure. But love what I'm seeing from Colton Hood here, being physical, setting the edge. Jeremiah T-Lander, look at how close he is once the ball's there. So he saw it, sniffed it out. I think that is a sign of some good coaching. It's really nice execution. And, we'll go on to the next play. So this is the 2nd and 10. All right, so things are kind of bunched up tight. Now they're going to empty. All right, again, which means 5 wide. We're spreading out with them. So pre-snap looks like we're showing a 2-deep look. Could be cover 2. All right, that's what the offense might be thinking. Hey, maybe this is going to be cover 2. So this actually looks like it could be a cloud, or it's either cloud or it's cover 6. Cover 6 means that they're playing quarters up here. So deep quarter of the field, and then down here we're playing cover 2. So he's playing a deep half right here. He's playing in the flats, and then of course we've got all the little like middle zones. Okay, those don't change a whole lot, but they do change. So on this play, it's going to be a seam pass to the tight end. So he's pretty much going right in between our 2 guys that's playing quarters. But we do a good job of closing down this window, making it a more difficult pass and catch. So you can run zone because it's tighter windows. All right, it's a tighter window for the quarterback. You see people are talking, hey, empty, empty. All right, so everyone's talking. Things will change. But also with the tight end, that's going to have to make this catch. Whenever you see this guy flashing, it takes your concentration off the football, and little things like that do make a difference. So I like the play call. I love the execution. This is the 3rd and 10. All right, so empty again. So I think that they'll start off empty here, then they'll motion this running back this way out. I think he's going to motion in. Okay, yeah, so he motions in. Alabama does that a ton. They did it to us last week. They do it versus everybody. Just trying to get a look at, hey, what's this coverage that the defense is playing? So right now I would say it looks like it's some sort of a 2-deep look, okay? So that can mean a whole lot of different things. I'm not going to really go into that too much, but if you know, then you just know. So we'll let this thing roll. And this actually turns out to be man. So I talked about it last night, and watching it live, for anybody, it's tough to see exactly what's going on. I said, man, I would love for Tennessee, if we're going to be running man, there needs to be a lot more man zone concept. So we're seeing it here. It's man everywhere except for this linebacker here playing like a curl to flat, and then this one here playing a curl to flat. So versus Oklahoma coming up this weekend, teams do a whole lot of this versus them, and they find success. Man coverage is actually the best thing to run versus them, especially within, like, if you can add these zone concepts. Now, again, with this being man for this guy and for this guy, the reason that you can't always run man, or at least one of the reasons, is because of things like this. This is a pick play. This is a man beater, and it's tough, right? Obviously, you see, this guy, he gets picked off of that guy. We have a linebacker that's doing a good job of fighting to get underneath this, but because he gets picked, it typically doesn't get called. This would have been wide open, and that could have been 6, but the football goes somewhere else. So, that's why you have to mix it up. You can't just run man. I know that people get frustrated, and in theory, it sounds great, But they have good athletes. I mean, we do too, but on defense, you have to chase. You don't know where they're going. So you're already pretty much beat from that standpoint. But then also, they can do things like that within their scheme and run those man beaters. So let's let it roll some. I think that Jeremiah Thielen has really good coverage. Something else that's hard to stop in man coverage are those drags. Okay, Oklahoma does a whole lot of drags, but I think that we cover them up pretty well here. So let me show you what I mean. First and foremost, the pressure I think does kind of start to get here off the edge, but the biggest problem for me was just the lack of pressure. And I know that people want to fire Tim Banks, okay, and that's perfectly fine if that's how you feel. But are we also going to fire Rodney Garner or Coach Chop? And why wouldn't we if we said we want to fire Coach Banks? Because are you saying that, well, those guys just didn't execute? It's a whole lot of the same thing over the course of this film. So here, not a bad spot trailing. I think that that's our star, but really good job of Jeremiah Thielander getting there, and also love what JP does here. Make this quarterback pay. So obviously the quarterback gets outside of the pocket because we couldn't close at the moment of truth. But right here, man, come on up, hit him right in the gut, man. Make him pay for that throw, and then obviously that's that's an incomplete pass. So good job there. 2nd and 10. All right, so we're showing what I mean. I couldn't really tell you. I mean, kind of looks like a 2 deep look, but the cornerback's playing way off. So we're not really tipping our hand as far as what this coverage is. All right, I just want to make sure that I keep on talking about that. So pre-snap motion, this is cover 3, and I'm gonna let it roll some more so that y'all can see it. Everything is covered up. Everything, everybody, perfect play call. I think really good execution from everyone outside of the guys up front, and we'll get to that in just a second. But you can see that the quarterback's starting to break contain. What's going to happen here? It's covered up now, but now this wide receiver is going to move over in this scramble drill, and he's going to get open. It was covered up initially, but because we're not disciplined up front, all it takes is one small thing to break down in your defense, and it could be a busted play, right? So here, what we're doing up front is we're running a stunt. So coming here, boom, going there, bam. All right, running a stunt, and we're going to have 5 there, David Hobbs. So he's the new edge guy. He's the new edge guy. I don't absolutely love this just because you've got guys that aren't going to be the best athletes. He's a really good athlete for a defensive tackle, but I mean, obviously, we don't have enough of an edge here. We're already like out leveraged. This tackle is able to push us back to the inside. So now the quarterback can escape. And then there was no pressure coming from anywhere else. Like we're just running straight into folks. I mean, just running straight into folks. Running these stunts. We're not pushing people off. So, quarterback's able to break outside the pocket. And look at how tight that window is. Boom. That is a very tight window. We've got pretty tight coverage. You know what I'm saying? Like we're right there. But these guys are on scholarship too. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to make plays sometimes. We can't have those like lapses. But this is the 2nd and 13. So showing a 2 deep look, the motion's coming over. This is now 3-by-1. So we got 3 threats down here, 1 up top. This is a double screen. All right, so double screen, tunnel down here. Just like a wide screen is what it looks like up top. Like a little swing pass. Okay, so good job again. And this coverage, y'all, looks to me like it could be, again, cover 6, where it's quarters down here, cover 2 up top. So the cornerback is playing in the flats. Something that I will say is we maybe could have done more. Hey, cornerbacks, y'all stay in the flats because they're running a bunch of screens. But see how the cornerback's able to come up and he's able to set that edge. And then players can, like flow over. All right, so we'll see it again every time from this end zone copy. People are talking. People know what they're doing for the most part. Sometimes people don't, but things change, right? Like as that motion comes over, things are changing, and those are like automatics. But we should understand what to do. To me, it feels like we do understand what to do. So nice twitch there, but obviously it's a screen. We figured that out. Love that. Okay, set the edge. Also love what Edwin Spillman's doing here, flowing over from the inside. And man, I also look, man. We talked about this. Look, safety here. He's showing that, but then boom, bust over. Love that, man. Like play those games. So good stuff there. But where we have some problems is that we don't tackle. So watch this. Boom. At this point, this should be a stop. He's at about what, like the 52, y'all? Okay, but he's going to fall forward for like another 5 yards or so. So, I mean, it's not horrible, but that little stuff, that adds up. All right, so 3rd and 10 here. Got to be a lot better tackling. So 3rd and 10, spreading this out. This looks like this could be man, but it's flipping to quarters. Okay, we flipped this to a quarters. Down the field, things are covered up, and obviously this is the play that we pick 6. So love that. Obviously Ed, really, really good play there. We're going to watch it again. We're actually bringing the pressure with the safety blitz. So this is where Ed is right there. He's going to be blitzing. Something else that I'll point to real quick. Safety blitzes, that's cool, but I would much rather us add some more cornerback blitzes in there and not blitz the safeties as much. There were some plays over the course of this game. There's some plays over the course of several games where the safety blitz opens up some big holes inside of our defense, right? But this one's better because at least the safety's playing up at the line of scrimmage. I think I like it better that way. So this right now, this is like a single mug that we're showing. I think it might have started off as like double mug, but that's just an excellent play by 15 here. Just being a freaking baller. Bat it to yourself, make the catch, and then take it to the freaking house. So gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. Super, super proud of what he just did there. Now this is 2nd and 6. So obviously, man, we started the game off playing pretty well. Playing pretty well. So I think that this is a touchdown. So on this play, I'm gonna go ahead and let this thing roll. So the motion comes out. I think that we maybe could have bumped out a little bit more with the motion. That maybe could have helped us some, but there's a reason that we're not doing it. I couldn't exactly tell you what it is. Showing a one high look, maybe could be man, but since we're not fully flowing with this, that they know that, hey, this isn't man. So this is cover 3. All right, it's cover 3. You can't fully see it just because of how this play happens. But the problem on this play is that the cornerback, he's playing this deep third, right? So he's got to give the ground. We talked about it earlier with Colton Hood. So number one thing for the cornerbacks, you've got to force everything to the inside of you. That means blockers. That means everything. You've got to fight hard to get to the outside. He pins himself to the inside with a bad angle because this ball carrier comes to the inside. Doesn't matter. Like, your job is outside. You've got to stay outside. If he does that, look at all of the people that are coming. Okay, we would have made this stop. We would have made this stop, but instead we're undisciplined, and we talked about it last night. That's like 6 and 7-year-old football. That is such a basic level of football. I don't think that it was a horrible play call, but it was definitely a lack of execution. And this is a guy that, he's older. I'm not trying to pick on him, but he has to know better than that. And this is not the only time that I've seen him biting on the inside. He has got to, I know that he wants to make the plays and all that, but bro, just do your job first and the plays will come to you. I promise. So plus, he's slowing up his own team, and now we're slowing up more teammates. So it just turns into like a domino thing where if one thing is off, like we said, everything breaks down. So I'm going to try to fast forward and, hate to see them dancing and stuff, but we got to get to the scoreboard copy. So this is a 2nd and 12. All right. But just very, very small things, yo. All right. So motioning over. Now it's 2x2. All right. So this looks like this is cover 3. So cover 3, double screens. So screen up top, screen at the bottom. Good job right here by a true freshman playing at linebacker. That's Jaden P. Gets under this. I would actually like for him to maybe stay put here. I don't know if they coach him, hey man, just come on up and try to force that quarterback's hand. It obviously worked out, so I don't hate it. But everything's covered up, I think, everywhere else. Even the stuff up top, we took care of that. You know what I mean? See, look, boom, beautiful job. So the execution, it was good there, And I'm not skipping any plays, y'all. This is all in sequence. This is all of our passing plays in sequence. So obviously, anytime that they're running double screens, you should be able to get some pressure because it's not going to be that many offensive linemen in there blocking. But I think that was a good play. Third and 12 here, so 3rd and long. So it looks like we're showing man-to-man coverage. They got 3x1, okay, stacking it up there. All right, so we're showing a single mug. Single mug, so not the double mug. Now it's a single mug. I think that we got pretty good. We're not playing too tight, which I also like. All right, so this is cover 1. Like I said, so one safety playing high. It is man everywhere else, and it's going to be covered up everywhere, pretty much. So covered up here, covered up there, covered up there. Not covered up here, not so much covered up there. All right. So I talked about our stars in the in-breaking routes, especially slants. It seems like they lose those every time. So we make the stop here. Okay, we're able to get off the field. I would just like to see our stars, especially, play with a stronger inside leverage. Take away the in-breaking routes. Force them to throw it to the outside because we have no help to the middle here. See that? There's no help to the middle. So, we let things cross our face and we're going to give up passes. But we didn't give up that first down. I think that that's the most important thing. So 1st and 10, even though that might have been like 8 or 9 yards, 8, 9, 10 yards. So it doesn't look great for the overall stats. But as far as getting off the field, that's all that matters. Winning ball games, that's all that matters. All right, so 2x1. What's the coverage? It looks like pre-snap that we're showing cover 2. And I think that this might be quarters. Might be cover 6. So quarters here, cover 2 up top. So we ran a whole lot of that. And a pretty good job of coming down and making a play. Let me see, who is this? So Jaden Harmon here. And actually, on this one, y'all, This is just a well-designed play. So every zone is going to have a weakness. Even in man coverage, there are weaknesses. So they're just running a beater for what we're playing. All right, they're overloading this area in our zone. So we have to honor this and that. We have to be able to spread out like wide, but also give the depth. So I think that we're in a pretty decent spot here. Maybe could have closed it up a little bit more. Okay, maybe. I don't know exactly how they're coaching them to play this. Do you want them playing more here or more there? I think probably what he's doing is right because you put the cornerback in a bad spot. You don't want people getting to the outside of your defense. All right, so just come up, make the tackles. That's pretty much all that you can ask for. Would have loved for the tackle to have been more flush, but you're playing up against good athletes. Like they're going to make you miss sometimes. Hold on to them. Just hold on to them. So here, basically three-step drop. There is no impact from our defensive line at all. There's no impact. We're bringing four. It's quick. We don't have a whole lot of time to be able to get there, but we have to be able to disrupt things a lot better than this. Okay, we have to get more push than this. All right, but come up, hold on, and just try to make a tackle. That was the freshman, 26, Sidney Walton, who I think is going to be really good. He's getting a whole lot of playing time now. So this looks like we're showing cover 2, and this is actually another one of the like man zone concepts. Okay, so we've got man on the outside here. Okay, so our cornerbacks are able to play man, but we're playing zone with everyone in the middle. I love this type of stuff. I love these types of plays because as y'all can see, everything's covered up, right? Everything's covered up. We know that these guys can run man, especially on this vertical stuff. But let's add some extra bodies and some extra help to all this middle stuff. They try to throw it deep. It's a bad pass. It was covered up anyway. Okay. So I think that this was a really good play call. People will overlook it. Things look good. I mean, we're executing well outside of what's the pass rush look like? There is no pass rush. You know what I mean? Like the pocket is just way too clean. And this is a situation where we should have been able to get something there, but nothing. So I think that was one of the biggest problems with this defense for sure. So 3rd and long here, y'all. Getting towards the end of the first, it's an empty set. Now they motion the running back in. We're showing double mugs. All right, and we're playing off. This looks like cover 0. All right, so we're showing cover 0. Also like this one. That's Sidney Walton. All right. This is Sidney Walton. This is something Oklahoma does a ton of. They'll run things off vertically to just hit this drag underneath with a whole bunch of space. Sidney Walton, he's playing man here, playing man there, but at the same time, he sees, okay, hey, football's coming out. I'm still using my eyes, using my instincts. He had to have been coached up on that. All right, had to have been coached up on that. We are all expecting for this drag to come underneath. And it does. He comes up, doesn't finish the tackle, but he does get there. But his teammates rally. All right, and we're able to stop him from getting the first down. And actually, we forced a fumble here. Okay, so fumbles forced. I don't know why they couldn't pick this football up. Whole lot of dirty stuff going on. We'll show you the end zone copy of that. Kentucky is a dirty football team. I kind of wish that we would have scored on that final play, but I understand why we didn't because we don't want folks getting hurt. All right, so showing you everything. Again, people are talking, showing the double mugs, like we said. Who all's coming here? All right, so we're actually bringing 7 here. So we're actually going to bring the 7, cover 0. Sidney Walton right there. Boom. Okay, slows him down. All right, everyone's rallying. He's staying up. Number 4 out here is going to come over. He's going to pull that football out, pulls it out. Okay, and now it kind of skipped ahead. But watch this here. Look at that. Look at that. Kicking folks, tripping folks, holding on to folks. Watch this again. Look, pulls them down, trips them up, holds on to them. I mean, and then look, you're going to see some more chippiness going on over here too. They are a dirty football team, but I really like that play. Obviously, our defense steps up and we make some plays sometimes. But this is 2nd and 15. We're showing a one high look here. If the safety's back this far, it feels like it's probably man-to-man coverage. On this play, y'all, I think that we were going run. We felt like, hey, run's coming. So man here, man there, playing off man here. Safety's going to help over the top. And this is that slot fade to Boo Carter. It's a tough route to stop. And when I say stop, I mean stop him from making this catch. I don't mean having this much separation. I just don't think that his fundamentals look very good at the line of scrimmage. Some of that might be from having not practiced as much in the offseason or not being bought in. I don't know why. It doesn't really matter why. That's unacceptable. All right? That's just not good enough. Boo Carter is a better player than that. I'm not saying that, he's out there sandbagging. I'm not saying that, but I don't know why that looked the way that it did, but that's just a lack of execution. Because yeah, maybe they can hit on this pass, but it shouldn't be six. Shouldn't be six. It should be a really tight window. Like, look, boom. When you play this right, the pass should have to go right in this area, like where these little hashes are. Like that's about the area that the quarterback should be able to drop it into. Just not very good fundamentals, not very good technique. Three-step drop too, right? So pressure can't really get here. I think we're going to run the whole way. That maybe could have got there just a little bit more. But it's tough to get pressure if it's quick game stuff, which is what that was. So very, very frustrating, but we just have to be able to execute better on things like that. 2nd and 7. I don't hate that play call necessarily, but I'm not sure what the expectations were on that play. But this is empty, so now we are blitzing. Okay, we're blitzing both of these linebackers, and we dialed up blitzes, but we just never really. This is a play where we are getting some pressure. So this is actually cover 0 with a little bit of like zone concepts to it. So this is the Leo. He's going to drop to this curl to flat. All right. So Leo here is going to drop curl to flat. Everywhere else, this is man coverage, straight up man. So look, very well called play. We get the blitz. We have guys here, okay, to cover things up down the field. And Ford makes a good play there. He's a tall, long rangey guy, and he's able to make the play. So let's see it again. Okay, everyone's talking, hey, empty, empty. So we're going to switch to whatever the empty play call is. Bring the blitz. Very well timed by 13. This is also holding. We got held like you wouldn't believe over the course of this game. Watch it. Boom. This is a hold. That's a hold. It isn't called. We're not able to get there and fully close, but we're still able to make the play. 3rd and 7. All right, so empty set. We're showing 2 deep. Okay, 2 deep, pressing up at the line. And with some of these guys, I don't love the depth at which we're playing here, but I think that we're looking for the screen. Yep, and so that's what that was. So we're playing screen here. Here, screen, push off. Now, this is something that I don't love in this situation is because we keep on running this like mug look. We're taking our linebackers out of their like middle zones necessarily, right? Like they're playing at the line of scrimmage, especially when they're blitzing, which they're blitzing here. So now there's no pursuit from the inside. We talked about cornerbacks setting the edge on these screens and setting the edge on any play, but you got to have some inside pursuit. We don't have that here. So I didn't like this call for our defense, but we still could have made some stops, right? But we missed 2 or 3 tackles. So the tackling has just been horrible. And that's on everybody. That's on every coach on the staff. That's on all the players too. All the ones that aren't tackling have to do better. But double screen here, he should not have the time. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. So double clutch is here because we're playing screens. So it's stopping our pass rush. It's neutralizing our pass rush. We're now playing, hey, let's get out here. Let's help with these screens. Great thing that he did it because if he didn't, this probably would have been 6 points. We're doing everything that we can here. Also getting held. We're going to get held here too. Watch this. Boom. Egregious hold. Okay. So big time hold. Got to be able to finish here. Okay. Got to be able to finish there for sure. Really, really poor angle. Well, not a really poor angle, but just not a very good angle. Got to be inside out. Okay. Got to be inside out, and you got to freaking hit people. You have to hit folks. All right. So 3rd and 5. They're bunched up tight. And here we are running quarters coverage. Okay. So boom, quarters, playing deep quarter, deep quarter, deep quarter, deep quarter. All right. And linebacker here, he's carrying this vertical route to the middle. He's carrying that, which I'm sure that they're asked to do. And it's just a very well called play because they're running mesh with these crossing patterns. So he's now open. Okay. He's now open. And, we did what we were asked to do. So the execution, I think, was actually good. Maybe could have been a little bit better here, right? Boom, maybe at this point you start to come off some, right? Like you're passing this off now. Start to come off a little bit quicker. That's what they'll tell them inside of the film. But where's the freaking pass rush? Where is the pass rush? There isn't any pass rush. Like that was really bad, just as far as the pass rush goes. It could have helped us out more if we can get some pressure on the freaking quarterback. All right, so let me go back real quick. So this is a 2nd and 21, 2nd and super long. All right, so we're getting towards halftime, and we might stop it at halftime. But we're showing kind of like a one-high look here. All right, so we flip this to this looks like cloud to me. So you got 3 playing deep, then you got the corner that's playing like in a flat area. All right. So what's the route concepts? So they're pushing us off. All right, coming underneath, right? So we're all pushed off. We come up, we had to make tackles. We got to be like we also have to be stronger. This was maybe like the first game, and maybe some in the Alabama game too. In some instances, when it might be the problem with the with the defensive line. It feels like almost like we're weak or something. You know what I mean? Like almost like you know how you're famished or you're like lightheaded, you can't make a good fist. You know, like you just feel weak. Feels like it's that type of weakness going on. I don't know what our road game meals are, but let's get something with some pop to it. Like let's get some steaks and you know, like let's get these guys some freaking energy pills or something or some something. Just because I don't think like it just didn't. It feels like some of these teams are taking something leading up to these games, and they just look so much stronger than we do. And I don't think that it's always like that. It's just like in certain situations, right? But anyway, I think that was a good, wasn't a great tackle, but that's a good job making a tackle. Obviously, we got way too many yards on that. 3rd and 8. So now we're showing double mugs. All right, so this looks like cover 0. So cover 0 means that there's 0 people playing deep. All right, this might actually be quarters. Could be off man. Could also be quarters. Looks to me like it's probably more quarters than it is man. All right, so things are covered up vertically. All right, covered up pretty good vertically. But they just dump it off to the flats. So coming out here, it's really just not much that you can do here, just besides getting there and taking maybe like a little bit of a better angle. You know what I mean? I think that's about all that we could do here at linebacker. Maybe we could have had a different play call. Did they get the first here? I think that it might have been short. So this is something that I talked about last night, man. I don't like going double mug so much, and we stopped doing it as much in the second half. But it's something that it can work, but I think that we're starting to kind of like wear it out some. All right, there's no real pressure here. All right, I'm just gonna let y'all watch them. A little bit that kind of pops out at the end, but there's not a whole lot of like real pressure. So this is a 2nd and 3, getting towards the end of the second quarter. And I think that this is a touchdown. So this is one where it looks like there's going to be several busts. So obviously it looks like here we're playing man. All right, so this is the guy that Redmond would have been playing man on, okay? But that's not who he's going to cover. He's going to cover this guy. So it could be a situation, and I would like this part of it. If, okay, Red, he's already playing deep, so whoever comes deep, he takes. And then Colton Hood, he's already playing shallow, so he takes that shallow threat. I would love it if we would do more of that. I don't like running man coverage down here anyway. And if we are going to run it, what we definitely have to have is somebody that's playing like a zone over the middle. But we're also going to see there's a huge bust here because this guy is wide open. All right, we got 2 people going here. So it might have been one of those guys. Could have also been maybe one of these guys because he starts off right here, comes across. Maybe someone was supposed to carry that. I don't know. But this was just a total bust in coverage. I don't know what this was supposed to look like, but this ain't what it was supposed to look like. I can tell you that for sure. So it makes it very hard. It's almost impossible to stop this type of stuff that comes over the middle. Very tough to do. So we have to do a better job, I think, from a play call standpoint. If that's not what was called, we have to call that moving forward. All right, so we'll see it again from this end zone copy. Like I said, 84 right here. He's going to pop wide open. All right, so the motion comes over. It looks like these guys, I think that our cornerbacks were probably right because Colton Hood, he didn't miss a beat. Red didn't miss a beat. We've got a lot of folks over there. Something feels off here. Something feels off. I think it might be there. I mean, I hate to don't quote me on it. No, it would probably be here. I couldn't tell you, but something's definitely wrong. So we'll just let this thing roll out. Also, there's absolutely no pressure at all. Quarterbacks got all night. Just easy pitch and catch. You can never give quarterbacks that much time ever. All right, so this is third quarter. So this is going to be the first play of the third quarter. I think that maybe we'll end here. This is a positive one, but this is the 1st and 10. So they're running double screens again. They kept on trying to do that. Yeah, that's a good looking play. All right, so that's a good looking play. What's the coverage? All right, so yeah, so we switched something up. This is a zone, but we've got him coming up being that point man from down the field, which I think that I like that better. Have him come on down late and then try to blow this guy up so that we can stay on top if they try to go double pass. All right, so over here, yeah, good job. So I want to see it again from the end zone copy. I'm not quite sure what that coverage was. Looked like maybe cover 3. Could have been another one of those hybrid coverages where it's covered 4 on one side, covered 2 on the other side. But this is a good job here, recognizing, hey, screen, okay, come on over, help out. And I love what I'm seeing here from Tyler Redmond because they're going to try to push him to the inside with this tight end. So the tight end is he's going to the inside. Red has to bite on that. Okay, so he bites on it. Now he sees, hey, this is a screen. What are we talking about? Set the edge. He's gonna sprint full speed to get outside of this guy and force it back to the inside. Okay, forces it back to the inside hard. So that looks good to me. And linebacker's flowing over a really nice job. 13. He gets held there. No one's gonna call it, but great job coming over. Would like to be able to clean up on the tackling, but just, man, it doesn't really matter how you get him down. Just freaking get him down and just stop him. So that's where we're going to be stopping things at, y'all. The rest will be out for our members, but I did just want to go through and show you how things look. Again, in the second half, I actually think that it starts to look better, but it's not, I don't feel like place the blame on one individual person. Yeah, the defensive coordinator, I mean, that's his defense. He needs to, like, whatever he has to do to get the changes necessary, he's going to have to do that. But I'm starting to feel like it could also be, and some of this stuff, man, like, people just aren't playing well. You know, I think that that's about the nicest way that I can say it. People just, they're not playing well. Some people might need to play in different situations, and we'll see do those changes come for this weekend in a must-win game. It's must-win every single week. But thank y'all so much. Leave your thoughts down in the comments section. And if you did like this content, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends, family, and other volunteer fans. And maybe we'll be talking to y'all later on today. Thanks. Peace. Thanks for watching, and please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.